Welcome to Real Estate in Real Time. I'm Woody Zimmerman here with Mark Skabowski of Remax Lakes. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Doing fine. Doing fine. And I know weird weather week.
Oh man. 70.
Yeah, it was.
Or did get to 71? I mean, it was warm.
I think we did.
That's
yeah.
all I know is it was warm.
Yeah. Well, I went south last week and I brought back the warm weather.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
That's a golf
Yeah.
clap.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It was
Thank
not.
you.
I mean, I was in Alabama, and it's like, oh, this is great. It's like 70 in February,
Yeah.
and as I'm driving back, it's like the temperatures really didn't change. So it was great to bring it back, but that's we've seen like pretty much every season here.
Every
over
season
the
in
past
a week.
couple of days. Yeah.
Which is all right though. I mean, it's still winter.
Yeah, all right.
Technically,
Yeah,
we still may get one blast, although I don't know. I know my wife was saying to me, March sounds like it's going to come in, like a lamb. So
Yeah.
maybe it'll be nasty at the
Right.
end
It
of
might go out
March.
like a lion. Yeah.
We'll
So,
see. But,
yeah.
hey, I started running again outdoors,
Yeah.
left the Y, the indoor track, and running outdoors. Man, there's a lot of people out.
Yeah.
A lot of people out, which was really nice to see. I mean, I ran down and into the trails in Winona, and more dogs out there roaming around,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
tough for me because my dog is not aggressive.
Okay.
But when we run, I run one of those waist belts.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't go towards the other dog. She pulls away from the other dog because she's a sneak attacker.
Oh.
She's doing the big U behind them
Oh.
because she wants to come up behind
okay.
them.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's only 30 pounds, and
Yeah.
I'm 200, but she's tugging me.
Yeah.
So actually, a lot of times I'll run downtown. I mean, I run by the station. I'll
Yeah.
run back this direction and run in town,
Yeah.
just so I don't see dogs.
Yeah.
Because running with the dog, it's tough.
Yeah, right.
Because she is a strong little thing. She gets pulling.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, she's taken me down a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've had, 2 years ago, I had to scrape on my head.
I remember that.
Where she ran me.
Yes.
It's like, good Lord.
Yep.
Good Lord. But hey, it was nice to see everybody out enjoying, and that's some of the
beautiful.
beauty of what Kosciuszko County is. We got some great trails.
Oh.
Nice weather, you can get out and walk around.
Mhm.
So that's what I did.
Yeah. Good stuff.
That's what I did. Get out and enjoyed it.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, spring is going to be here soon,
It's coming.
and that's when the real estate season really heats up.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's cyclical. Typically, we get that March through September, October is the peak selling season. So you get that question a lot this time of year. Should I list now? We did a show a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, well, it's up to you. You still got to explore your why, why you're trying to sell. But we're getting closer. Every day we get closer to where you're going to have nice weather.
Yeah.
When I go to do a new listing, it's like, well, boy, I hope we have a sunshiny day because you don't want to go out there and be a dull day. Nice, bright, sunshiny day. Pictures look better. House looks better.
Right.
It just presents itself better.
Mm-hmm.
So for sellers, is now a good time? At least get your house ready.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it is a good time. In talking about inventory, if you compare the inventory between this year and last year, overall nationally, the average is up about 15%.
Oh, really?
The number of homes on the market, 24 to 23, is up 15%.
Because we've had inventory issues for like several years now.
Yeah, and it still continues because even though it's up 15% year over year,
Yeah.
compared to the last normal year before COVID,
Yeah.
it's still down 40%,
Wow.
which is huge.
That's a lot.
Which that really tells you how bad last year was.
Yeah.
If 23 was.
Yeah.
If, as far as inventory goes, if we're up 15% and we're still 40% off of,
Yeah.
good years.
Sure.
So, that I think what this truly does, this inventory situation is the big deal. That's the elephant in the room, although we're all talking about it, because it all leads to affordability, right? Lack of supply,
Yeah.
still strong demand, prices are going to go up.
Prices are going to be high.
So that logic,
Yeah.
that refutes where you get prices are going to fall off the cliff. People are going to have to reduce in order to sell, blah, blah, blah.
It's-
Within reason. If you price it right
Yeah.
out of the gate, if you price it based on current data, not 2 years ago data, you're probably correct. They're going, if you price it too high, you are going to have to reduce to sell. There's a lot of buyers out there, but every house is sellable. It just depends on what price. and who's in the market at any given point in time. I mean, I've priced homes to where it's like, I don't believe that this hasn't sold. I don't, because the price is where it's at. I mean, it's a nice home, it's in a good neighborhood, all that stuff, but it hasn't sold. So, you know, you market. People either want it or they don't. If they don't, how do you get it sold? Well, ultimately, you'll need to reduce the price. And that's where, well, you need to find me a buyer. Well, I wish I could find a buyer.
Yeah.
For your property. I think we priced it correctly, but we also then have to adjust to market conditions. You know, if we listed it 3 months ago and it still hasn't sold, probably time for a price change. I mean, that's the bottom line. You know, well, we need to do an open house. Okay, we do an open house. Hopefully you get some people through there. And sometimes that does stimulate getting a property sold, but price is still critical.
Yeah.
So the fact that there is more inventory than last year is a good thing for sellers who are worried about where am I going to go.
Yeah, true.
If I get an accepted offer on my house. But the fact that we're still down 40% compared to 2019,
right,
still an issue. It's still a concern for all of us.
Sure. Okay. All right, more on this topic coming up next. You're listening to Real Estate in Real Time. Welcome back. You're listening to Real Estate in Real Time. I'm Woody Zimmerman here with Mark Skabowski of Remax Lake. So we're talking about inventory. We have more inventory now than what we had last year, but we're still way down from 2019.
Yeah, and you know, nationally, that's the big deal. So how do we replace that inventory? How do we get more inventory? Well, if you're building, it's going to take months, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to build a stick-built house, site-built, stick-built home, it's going to take time. There's not a lot of people out there developing neighborhoods with modulars where they can be pre-built in a factory, come out and set them up and set them on site. And the market for manufactured homes, so double wides that roll down the road, you know, on a trailer, there's just not a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to live in that. For whatever reason. Now, the quality level on those have improved dramatically, you know, compared to where they were 20 years ago, you know, technology, the materials they use, all of that stuff. But there's just not a huge market for manufactured homes. Modular homes, as I mentioned, that's a way to get it built quicker, but if you have to pour concrete to put a foundation down, if you're in an area that's well and septic, all that stuff takes time.
Yeah, it does.
So, you know, when we see building permits leap off the table, when a lot of new construction's happening, then we'll see a change, a shift in inventory. We are seeing that on the north side of Warsaw. There's a new neighborhood coming in out by the Dells. And I think they've got 5 or 6 houses under construction that are framed, and they're getting there. I mean, I don't know what their timeline. I think their open house is here in March. I'm not doing an ad for that company, but the fact is there are builders that have recognized that this needs to happen. And they are starting to build, you know. And it all goes back looking, why are we where we're at with inventory? Well, you got, it's just a bunch of factors that impact that. You had a lot of builders got out of the business in 08, 09 because you couldn't sell anything.
Right.
They went and did other careers. They're not necessarily going back in construction.
Those were tough years for a lot of people.
For a lot of people, absolutely. And then now we've had the low interest rates jump to high interest rates. You had change in populations. You've had just so many factors that impact the whole housing market. Bottom line, we need more inventory. And you've got people that are fixed at a 3% interest rate that they have no appetite to sell and go to a 6.5% or 7% interest rate. So all those things impact this inventory, which ultimately leads to the affordability issue. So prices are not going to decrease anytime soon. They're probably going to be a more normal appreciation, 4 to 6%. I'm going to predict that. The experts are predicting it. It's going to continue there. So the real question is, should I sell now? Well, if you sell now, you've got the opportunity. In this time of year, there's less homes, even though inventory is still light regardless. There's less homes on the market. Buyers have fewer to choose from. So as a seller, that's a good thing. But the reality is you still need to have it in tip-top shape because the nice shiny penny sells.
That's true.
The nice shiny penny sells. So, you know, you need to deep clean your house. Declutter your house. You know, take those things out. You know, I've been asked before, should I rent a storage unit? Well, my suggestion is use your garage as a storage unit. If you've got a garage, you know, you can do that. Well, because winter is pretty much past us. You're parking outside. You might only have to scrape your windows a couple of times, or you can go rent a storage unit if that's what you choose to do. But you need to get that stuff out of the house so people can see the size of the house. If you've got a small house, it's definitely more important because otherwise people are, wow, this house is really small.
Yeah,
If you've
right.
got oversized furniture, get rid of that oversized furniture in a 12 by 12 room. You know, if you've got a stuffed couch, a
Yeah.
love seat, and a huge recliner,
Yeah,
probably too much furniture in that small room.
right.
So decluttering, you know, deep clean, outside, that curb appeal. You know, I looked out in my yard, you know, because I watched the dog go out to do their business in
Yeah.
the morning. I've got leaves, or not leaves, but I've got branches all over the place.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Well,
because we've had a lot of wind, a lot of tree
Yeah.
limbs down
Yeah.
or branches down in my yard. It looks nasty.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to clean that up. Now, I'm not selling,
Yeah.
but if I'm going to sell,
Yeah.
curb appeal is huge.
It
Clean up
is.
the outside of your yard. Now, you don't have to worry about mowing right now, but you do need to clean.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you didn't get all those leaves out of the flower beds in the fall, now's the time. Get them out of the flower beds if you're
Mhm.
thinking of doing it. You know, clean all the brush that's in your yard. Clean the limbs that have dropped in your yard. You know, give it a fresh coat of paint around the windows.
Well,
Paint
there's
your
also
door.
the perception that, okay, so if Mark, if you take care of that, you know, your front yard, if you take care of stuff, then you also take care of like mechanical things too,
Right,
and the
correct.
furnace and the
Correct.
roof and everything else that
Correct.
comes along with it.
Correct. Yeah. So that deep clean, get it ready. That's important. Whether you're going to list it tomorrow, if it's going to take you 6 weeks to do that, then get out there and get to it. Don't wait.
Yeah.
You know, and it's better for you too. You walk up to your house. Wow, I
You
like
feel good
that
about
house.
it, yeah.
Maybe you won't sell.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Get the outside cleaned up and go, hey, I really like this house. I like my neighborhood. I'm not going anywhere.
When my first house was listed, I saw the pictures of it online. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't mind buying that house.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
selling it.
And I'm selling it. But I mean, ultimately, you have to still examine, why am I moving?
Yeah.
You know, where am I going to go to? My generation, we're starting to downsize, right? I mean, we're getting out of the home where we raised our kids, and then we're moving into something smaller, maybe down south. I know I've
Yeah,
had that
right.
discussion with some friends here recently.
Yeah.
You know, I hate winter anymore. I was a snow skier. I used to race. I
Yeah.
mean, I snow skied. As soon as I'd get on the slopes, I skied.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Well, if you're not having fun in the snow, then it's no longer fun.
Exactly. Now I'd rather be diving. I'd
Yes.
rather be in the islands
Yes.
and diving than be in.
Yeah.
Life changes as you go.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it's still a good time to get your house on the market. Just make sure if you're going to do it, get it ready,
Yeah.
price it right, and it'll sell.
Yeah, some good advice. Very good advice. All right, if you'd like to continue this conversation with Mark, reach out to him. Mark, your contact info?
Sure. Phone number is 574-527-0660. Mark at skabowskiteam.com or go to skabowskiteam.com.
All right, that's two skis and a bow in the middle.
You got it.
All right, very good. You've been listening to Real Estate in Real Time. Have yourself a wonderful weekend.